It's our final ref show of this Premier League season. It's also the first to be completed in full by youaretheref.com. Thank you for your company throughout. We've had plenty of interesting things to talk about. And today, our experts give their verdict on the season as a whole for Premier League referees. We look ahead to the FA Cup final between Arsenal and Aston Villa. That's in the second part of the show. And the question of managing talent. We bring Kevin Peterson into that debate. Mark Halsey, welcome. Keith Hackett, welcome. First of all, if there was a league table and you had to place Premier League referees, where would you put them this season, Keith?
Well, I still think it's been one of the worst seasons that the Premier League has had in terms of refereeing since its formation. So, bottom quartile, apart from the odd referee that's shown consistency, Mike Dean, Mark Clattenburg, we've mentioned in positive aspects on many occasions. And, you know, despite having a very dodgy start to the season, Martin Atkinson seems to have got his fitness together, his head together, and as a result, I think he's pretty sound.
Bottom quarter, avoiding relegation though.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, you've got to look at it, and Keith says, obviously, yeah, bottom quartile. Then you've got to look at the reasons why we think they're finished in the bottom quartile. I know, you know, and if you look at managers that the teams haven't done very well this year, they've been sacked. So, you know, what does that say for the general manager? But for me, we've got some very good referees out there. We have got some good referees. Let's let them go out and referee. And you look at your first thing you do, turn the page, you look at the evaluation system. And for me, I think that's one of the reasons why our referees haven't performed this season, because they're worried about the evaluation system. You know, it's about managing the game, managing the event, managing the players, and we haven't seen that this season.
Well, I mean, and of course took away the assessors. Now, you can have negative thoughts about assessors, but in reality, if assessor is doing his job well, he's a coach, and therefore when things have not gone well for a referee, one is a point to be able to discuss at the end of the match, and you ensure as an assessor, a good assessor, that the referee is going to get in the car and drive home with more positive thoughts than negative. And I think they've missed that as well.
Absolutely. And the thing is, with the evaluation system, it's so negative. It's so negative. And there's no closure. You know, with an assessor, with a coach, on a Saturday night, you've got closure of that game. Whereas with the evaluation system, you're refereeing another game before you get your report through or before you get the mark. Because then you can write back and put your comments on, and it goes before a committee.
Well, I think it's just creating fear and robotic refereeing rather than managing. Is that what you're saying?
It's manufactured refereeing. We want natural ability referees that go out there and referee a game of football and manage a game of football. Yeah. At the moment, they're refereeing to evaluation, and that's why we're seeing nearly every challenge. We're seeing a yellow card for nearly every sort of challenge.
Yeah, but if you say, you know, as the boss, that you're 99% efficient, right? What you're doing is promoting complacency. And I think one of the underlying things that I've seen is, one, complacency in terms of movement and positioning that's exposed referees to error. Some of the younger referees, the outstanding referees like Michael Oliver, and more recently I think Robert Madley, have the opportunity, but they're not getting the coaching. No. You know, now, okay, we've now seen effectively the retirement of Chris Foy, and he's going to go on to the coaching scene. The problem I've got with that is you don't suddenly convert from being a man in the middle to becoming a referee coach. You need training. You need to understand all aspects of refereeing. Even if you've done it, that doesn't mean to say that you're a good coach.
But you think he will be?
I think that it is what he's got to do. A coach has got to be bluntly honest. And he's got to set specific targets. And if things are not going well, he's got to actually say that.
Chris Foy's had a reputation for self-belief, ultimate self-belief, and believing he's not made a mistake.
Well, I think
but it's important that you do admit one when you make one, isn't it?
Well, the difficulty you've got...
I'm only saying by reputation.
Well, I think effectively, you know, he's a policeman by profession. I'm not generalising across policemen, but there is an underlying arrogance with that I'm always right. You know, I'm going to approach a guy who's speeding. I'm not going to be like kind. I'm going to like come in heavy. And there are times when he's done that, but there's also times when I think he's dodged the bullets, i.e. the big games like come see, come say.
But I agree with Keith. You know, for me, I mean, you got to look at it. And there was two people that went for the coaches role in the select group, and you got Phil Dowd, who I thought who's most probably would have been the top man for me because he's been an excellent referee over the years, and you've got Chris Foy. So how has only two people gone for that job? You've got to ask yourself, well, hang on a minute, why? You know, you've got people out of football like Steve Bennett, you've got Barry Knight, you've got other people that have been out of the game, and same with Chris Foy and Alan Wiley. Alan Wiley's working with the development group. Hang on a minute, bring Alan Wiley into the bring Alan Wiley up into the select group. And put Chris Foy, put Chris Foy into the development group, because for me, Keith's absolutely spot on. You cannot go from refereeing and then straight into coaching. Yeah. You've got to be out of it for a couple of years. You've got to be out of it.
Wiley is his own man.
Yeah.
And there's too many yes men in the organisation. Yes. Wiley would tell you straight. He used to come to me as a referee and tell me straight. Yeah. You know, it wasn't, he didn't bleat and moan. No. He would actually come in and make positive comments. And I think that's how he is as a coach. Yeah, I think that he's going in and saying to these young guys, look, you need to do this, this and this. This is what the Premier League referees require. They need to be told, look, you've some distance to go before you hit.
And I think that's why Phil didn't get the job, because he's not a yes man.
Can I mention Phil Dowd? What's going to happen with him? Because a similar age to Foy, is he going to retire?
No, I mean, listen, I mean, if Keith was still in charge, I wouldn't have retired. And when I'm looking back now, I should have just carried on and picked up the money. My advice to Phil Dowd is he's been a great referee over the years. What is there for him now? I think I understand he's got a knee injury. And for me, what I would do if I was Phil Dowd, pass my fitness test and just pick up the money.
Well, let's have a look briefly at the big games of the weekend. There were two meaningful games. We're at the bottom of the Premier League, obviously, and we know that Newcastle have survived. Hull City have gone down. Commiserations to them. And Steve Bruce is a good man, Steve Bruce. I'm really glad they're keeping faith in him, by the way. Yeah. And that game against Manchester United finished 0-0. 2 goals disallowed for Hull offside. I think Darren Cann emerged with great...
I mean, like those. I mean, Darren Cann is got to be the world's #1 assistant.
Still is, even though he's finished with FIFA.
I mean, it's just incredible. It is over the years, his service to the game has just been remarkable. You know, you look and you almost sit and say, when is this guy going to make an error? I can't remember in the period that I was in office him ever making an error. We used to look at it and say, how does he do it? And I think that the problem they've got is that a lot of the assistant referees, current crop, are not coming anywhere near his standard. So let's hope that here's a situation where he can still run the line, because he can do it forever, and let's bring him into the coaching scene.
No chance.
And get all of these assistant referees.
Absolutely no chance, because I know for a fact that his face doesn't fit with certain powers to be. And for me, I'd get him straight in there, and I'd replace Adam Watt.
Lee Probert was the referee there. He didn't emerge with so much distinction. There was an incident, obviously, Hernandez of Hull seemed to punch Phil Jones in the stomach. Got away with it.
So it's the red. I mean, what worries me is, why are these guys missing? There's 4 officials on a game. Why did he miss something that he's so open? We've not got to rely on TV. We've got to do it on the day.
No, it's like you say, if he had a coach, you'd be watching that, you'd be ringing him up the next day, and you'd be going through it with him, and you'll be saying, well, hang on, as a referee, I'd be saying, how have I missed that? I'd be very upset if you'd missed that, and you've got to look at your positioning, and it's awareness of what's going on around you. You know, prior to the first goal disallowed, there was a nailed-on penalty for Hull City. Definitely a definite shirt pull. Now, you've got to say to yourself, what are you looking at? It's difficult. It's difficult.
Credit to Steve Bruce for not making an excuse of that and even raising it as far as
I was amazed, because the other incident was Fellaini, wasn't it?
It was great. I think it was Darren Cann as well that came in and give the red card. But absolutely nailed-on red card for serious foul play. The challenge was absolute. I mean, I just can't understand why players do that.
Again, I go back to the point. Here's a top game, an important game, and Probert is still getting his fitness. He's been off most of the season, and you suddenly go, "What's this about?"
But that's. I mean, I wouldn't blame Lee Probert for that. But what the thing is, he's been back since Christmas, or just before Christmas, Keith, yet they don't give him a game until, right, you know, coming up towards the end of the season, you know.
Okay, well, I'll tell you what, in the second part of the Ref Show, we'll talk about the other big game at the bottom. John Carver, who you've been in touch with, Newcastle, to great relief, has survived in the Premier League after a dreadful run recently. We'll talk about Big Sam as well, because he's leaving West Ham, and that announcement was made with indecent haste, within minutes of the end of the game.
Well, it was actually on the website, Alan, reported to have been made at half time.
I know, yeah, I know. I mean, I just cannot understand the timing. I don't think it's a surprise. And also, all the best to Chris Foy before we close this first one. Join us for part 2 shortly.